Welcome to this explainer. Let's be honest. Absolutely nobody wakes up thinking, I can't wait to call customer service today, right? Today, we're going to dismantle the corporate jargon and look at what actually separates the contact centers that people genuinely love from the ones that just, well, process tickets. Let's jump right in. Okay, let's kick things off with a brutally honest question. When was the last time you were excited to call customer service? Yeah, probably never. We all know that almost nobody is eager to dial a support line. It's almost always a situation born out of pure frustration or confusion. And that brings us to our core thesis for today. Every single time a customer reaches out, it's a high-stakes opportunity. You literally have the power to either make that person's day worse or completely turn them into a loyal fan for life. So here is our agenda for today. First, we'll cover why we need to stop just processing tickets. Then, we'll break down how to connect through genuine empathy, teach teams to actually listen, and make knowledge actually useful. Finally, we'll bring it all together to build teams that care. Section 1. Stop just processing tickets, moving beyond the queue. To build a team that actually connects with people, we have to make a fundamental shift. Treating customers like a conveyor belt of tickets is a guaranteed way to fail. True service relies on empathy, active listening, and accessible knowledge. It's not just about raw speed and cranking up the volume of calls you handle. Moving on to Section 2. Connect through genuine empathy, hiring and supporting for heart. You know, this all starts long before a customer ever picks up the phone. When you're hiring, sure, contact center experience matters. But you know what matters more? Whether someone naturally gets people. Skip the textbook interview questions and ask behavioral ones like, tell me about a time you really let someone down, and how did it make you feel? Watch what happens. Do they get uncomfortable in a way that shows they genuinely care? You really want to filter for that natural, organic empathy. But here's something nobody talks about enough. It is absolutely impossible for your team to show empathy if their own emotional tanks are running dry. When advisors are dealing with angry callers back-to-back, that stress builds up fast. That's why resilience coaching during onboarding can't just be a checkbox. You have to explicitly support your agents and foster a culture where emotional support is just the standard, because burnt-out advisors don't have the energy to care. And believe me, your customers can feel that immediately. Now think about how we measure success. I know, average handling time, or AHT, is super tempting to track. But when you reward speed, you force advisors to rush people off the phone like they're trying to beat a timer. On the flip side, weighting your scorecards toward customer satisfaction, or CSAT, rewards active emotional reassurance and courtesy. Those moments of genuine connection might take an extra minute, for sure, but they build the kind of loyalty that keeps people coming back. Which brings us to Section 3, teach teams to actually listen, breaking the rushing habit. Theoretical frameworks for active listening are fine, but here's what actually works. Sit side by side with someone during a live call, or pull a recording and listen to the actual call together. Here is my golden rule. Always let the advisor hear their exact tone and their own interruptions. Nothing beats hearing your own voice, or the exact moment you cut someone off. It's way more powerful than any written checklist. And this leads us to a real superpower: listening without interrupting. The best advisors train themselves to bite their tongue and let the customer fully explain their issue before jumping in. This isn't just polite, it's practical. When you truly understand the whole problem, you fix it right the first time. No misdiagnosis, no back and forth. This directly pushes up your first contact resolution rates, and customers feel completely respected. But here is a hard truth about floor stress staring right at us: 85%. When your advisor occupancy rates push past this threshold of 85 to 90%, active listening completely dies. High occupancy directly leads to burnout. Under that kind of extreme pressure, advisors just stop listening actively. They either start rushing through calls just to get a sip of water, or they purposely drag them out because their brain is screaming for a breathing break. You have to keep staffing at a fair level where people actually have the mental capacity to think and listen effectively. Let's move on to Section 4. Make knowledge actually useful, simplifying the solution. Because knowing the answer is absolutely useless if your advisors have to click through a nightmare of 5 different tabs to find it. Instead, create the perfect cheat sheet. Use standardized formatting, a one-page design, plain English, and step-by-step navigation. When finding the answer takes seconds instead of minutes, the customer feels like they're in expert hands, and your advisor doesn't feel like they're trying to solve a giant puzzle. And you really have to challenge your team to translate policies, not just recite them. Knowing something and explaining it clearly are totally different skills. Ask them, would my mom understand this? Jargon and company acronyms might sound official, but they just confuse people. Explaining things in straightforward human terms is what real expertise looks like. Furthermore, think about agent roles. A single skilled agent only handles one thing and sees the process through a tiny little window. But a multi-skilled agent, they're cross-trained. They understand how billing connects to shipping or how returns affect inventory. This continuous cross-training keeps the job highly engaging and makes them significantly better problem solvers because they actually understand the whole business process. Also, instead of just pointing at rigid numerical targets on a dashboard, benchmark against peer excellence. Use quality monitoring sessions to highlight the successful phrasing and techniques of top-performing peers. It gives your team a practical, real-world blueprint to mimic. Section 5. Build teams that care, bringing it all together. So, let's summarize the blueprint for care. Building a team that customers actually love isn't about rolling out another corporate initiative. It's about these specific, human-centric shifts. Hire for heart and protect your agent's peace. Stop rewarding speed over genuine connection. Coach using real call audio and side-by-side listening. And finally, eliminate jargon and use simple cheat sheets. I want to leave you with one final provocative question to really challenge your current strategy. Are you building a team that just clears queues or a team that actually connects? Because how you answer that changes absolutely everything about your customer's experience. Reflect on that, apply these pillars, and thank you for joining me on this explainer.